when we're talking about a lot of issues, why black people and like, let's just say African Americans, Africans, it all stems to part of it. These are the people that I hate to go into this, but these people, no matter where they come from, Africa, but those people are the people that sold us. Mm-hmm. These are the immigrants that are doing better than us and throwing it in our face. And I don't like my Nigerian or Ghanaian or Ugandan boss. I don't like those people. Like,
hi guys, welcome to Kenganda. My name is Janita Maya and this is the Read Part Podcast. I'll let Mike. By the way, O'Shea, welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, he's back. He's back in the dusty Uganda, but we're glad to have him back. Guys, introduce yourselves.
Hi, it's Tina here.
O'Shea Duke Jackson, Sacramento, California, African American.
Okay, guys. Tina, I feel like you need to give the people a little bit something.
Okay, Tina, Ugandan, British, but Ugandan.
And a hater.
Okay.
Yeah, that too.
So you're going to introduce this one.
Let's listen to the clip.
Okay.
Even in certain groups on Facebook, which I won't name because I don't want to shame them because I do like those groups, but I post African women and they have the most shit to talk about. I'm just posting a simple video of how good they look. Like look at these women at this party I saw, and these women are different. You can approach them, and I'm saying that, and a lot of people thought that I hated black women because I used to say American women.
Okay, so that is from Austin Holloman. He was here. Was it last month? Mm-hmm. Austin was here last month, and so Austin Holloman was associated with, or still is associated with, hashtag Passport Bros. And Passport Bros are a community of brothers. I think it was inspired by like a brother by the name of Charles Tyler. He's now deceased. But, these were like African-American men who were going into like Latin America first. And your usual suspects are like Colombia, Dominican Republic, Brazil, Costa Rica, those places. And I believe because of the way that the women typically look there, and in this femininity that they have, and also its close proximity to the United States. So that's what the push was before. Everybody was going to DR, Sosua, Brazil, because the whole idea was these women are more feminine than the black women in America. They look better. They're better wives, yada, yada, yada. So now when I came here in 2017, so you started seeing like some stuff from me as far as my experience in Uganda. And not to say I'm the first guy to do it, but one of the first people. And then I think some guys started seeing me here and then certain African Americans in other places. So then, that kind of bug, like, all right, let me check out Africa, because typically it costs a lot of money to go to Africa from African countries from the United States. So then guys started documenting their experiences in like Johannesburg, Uganda, Rwanda. And there are groups on Facebook that a lot of the Passport Bros participate in. And it's really big. It's a big communities. So guys post their girls and they share information. Like, I'm in Costa Rica. It's this, this amount of money you need, things like that. I noticed when you started sharing, like, yo, I'm out here in Nairobi or I'm here in Lagos, you would have some brothers receptive to that because, still some black men are okay. But I started to see a lot of hatred, like F Africa. Man, those women are like American women. It could be the same black woman. If it was in Brazil, it would be okay. That's something I noticed. Because, they have black women too in Brazil, in DR. So if she's the same woman that's in Colombia, there's no problem. But there is certain levels of hatred I have noticed in the Passport Bros groups towards women of African descent that are black. And you hear all the negative things. Africa's poor. I'm not going out there dealing. I'm not leaving America to go deal with those sisters out there in Africa. They're the ones that birthed these sisters here and all those things. So that's what he's talking about. No matter how good the women look, he always gets some hate on black women or African women from the continent.
Well explained. Tina, what do you think about that?
I don't know. I didn't. In the clip at the end, didn't he say something about he said something about people saying that he hated American women because he would like obviously, big up the African women.
They thought he hated black women.
Like black American women.
Yeah,
right?
but he doesn't. He was just saying the problems were with American women in general. He never really went after them in particular.
Oh, so that was the reason why he'll travel outside of his country to go and find women.
I think with Austin, because he's a young guy, so people thought that when he's talking about American women, it could be inferred he's probably having these issues with black American women.
But it was just women in general.
Yes.
Okay. I think for me, from this topic, my takeaway is not so much because I can't really speak on the whole black men hating on African. I don't understand why they would. But my whole thing is maybe passport bro culture in general and how problematic that is.
What do you mean?
That why... see, I always set myself up on this.
Yeah, come on.
Okay.
Get canceled. They're going to be in the comments.
Cancelled. Okay. So I think like passport bro culture in general is problematic because it's a bit like, isn't it just like glorified sex tourism?
Okay.
Wow, I can hear you banging on your headphones.
Go on.
No.
Why do you think that's the
No,
stereotype?
I'm asking. I'm genuine. Like we have a conversation like about it. Isn't that what it is? Because to leave like where you are to go to another place specifically for women, isn't that a bit problematic? Or like, am I crazy?
Someone in the comment section should tell us.
You're setting me up.
So wait a minute. Now let's deal with
You're
that.
setting me up.
No, I want to know. So
Yeah.
if somebody leaves a place of origin for whatever reason that it may be, does that mean that it is glorified sex tourism because they're doing that?
Oh, no. You can leave and resettle anywhere you want. I mean, that's why I said, like, if you leave and you go somewhere else specifically to find women, isn't that a bit problematic?
I don't think I think that women are a part of passport bros and it's a motivation.
100%.
I don't think that it's the sole
It's the sole
motivation.
reason.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so what's passport bros? Because then maybe I'm misunderstanding
Yeah,
what it is.
so passport bros are just a group of guys, in my honest opinion, from what I first saw from its inception, are guys who are looking to live, at least at best, a different quality of life. There's not just guys that are, I mean, you have guys who are PhDs. Like we have a guy that just came in today, Dr. Ronald Neal. He teaches at Wake Forest. He's a big advocate of passport bros, and this is a guy who was educated at Vanderbilt, like one of the best universities in America. So it's just that we feel like the system or things doesn't work here, so we would like to try another place that you can have a higher quality of life. Of course, a more of a fair chance in dating with a woman who you feel has more traditional values than what they're being socially programmed to accept.
Okay, then maybe I misunderstood what passport bros were. Because from what I was told, it was men that travel, just literally looking for women. But yeah, so the thing of hating on African women. See, again, like in the clip, is he saying that the men are hating on the women?
Yes.
Or the women are hating on the women?
No, the men are.
These are specific Facebook groups for men that document their experiences in other places.
No.
And when somebody comes in and posts
African women.
Africa, even the topic of Africa in general,
They don't like it.
they don't like it.
I'm trying to avoid saying the word anti-blackness.
Go ahead. It is.
Yeah, it is though, isn't it?
Yes.
Not even anti-blackness, isn't it? Like just like xenophobia, right?
Yeah. Oh,
It
yeah.
would be, yeah. It would be in that thing of looking down on Africa and thinking everything here is worse.
But why do you think that is?
Why is that?
Yeah.
Xenophobia, right?
Xenophobia for what?
Africans.
Well,
Like, the
why do you
dislike-
think that is?
The dislike for Africans, self-hate.
Okay. Let's move on to Jonita.
I just wanted me to say the word.
I think why some men would hate on Africa. Why would you actually hate on African women? I mean, these are the most beautiful, well endowed, gorgeous, amazing women out there. I'm just saying, African women are African queens, first of all. But I think it comes from, I'm sorry to say this, and this is not to generalize. I think it comes from the fact that there are some African Americans who hate Africans. Let's just call a spade, you know? I'm not saying everyone does, but I can even see some of the comments in my DMs on Instagram, and these people are just like, I block immediately. But you can see how they talk to certain women or how they interact with certain women, and it's not even dislike. Like, you just hate on someone for who they are, you understand? Or where they come from. It's not as if she's a black woman. No, she's an African woman. So you just want to hate on her because of what you've maybe been taught or what you've been told. So now you feel like you need to carry on this hate and spread it out to African women. Because I can't think of any other reason as to why someone would be hating on African women.
I have a reason.
Honestly. What you do?
No, it's not a justified reason, but I can theorize on a reason why I believe this comes into play. Okay, so black men have been trying to deal with women from America in the black community, and for whatever reason, they feel like this is a negative experience. So when you post, again, most passport bros, the way that some of them can think, this is not all of them. Now, number one, there is some colorism in that. I think the reason a lot of the brothers is going over to Brazil or to Dominican Republic or to Costa Rica, it has a lot to do with the fact that those women, on average, are lighter. And that is what we consider a level of self-hatred. So, a lot of women are mixed and racially ambiguous looking. So there's kind of a theory that I feel like the more racially ambiguous the woman is, the more feminine she's going to be. The darker she is, the more masculine she is. So if you look at world star hip hop, and a stereotype is a lot of black women fighting or something like that in America. They're usually going to be depicted as darker brown skin or dark skin. So guys are going to make the case like, okay, well, the women that I have come in contact with, they all, for me, look this color. And they can't decipher that the fact that culture and color is different. So what they will say is, listen, I'm not going to spend $4,000 going to Uganda when I can spend $1,000 going to Dominican Republic. And I know that their culture, and also they don't know very much about it, to be honest. A lot of black men, to be fair, who are negative about Africa, they just didn't know. So there have been a lot, because remember before when I was here, I could never get a visitor coming here. But now we got somebody coming every month. One of the reasons is they just didn't know. And some guys needed to see, okay, well, you're having a good experience there. And even Austin told me his views when he was in Brazil were higher than when he came to
Africa.
Yeah. But in Kenya, they started picking up more. So he didn't notice that guys they didn't know that the women looked in a certain way or acted a certain way until he actually saw oh, okay, it's like this. So part of that is we just didn't know. But secondarily, I think that if you're having bad experience with somebody black, you just start to generalize okay, everybody black is like that. Just like if you have a lot of problems in black business, for example, at a certain point, you're going to be like, man, I don't care if you black or African or Jamaican, I'm just not going to deal with you Negroes at all, right? And I do think that's what's happened. So when a lot of times when a black man sees somebody from Africa and they're seeing a black woman, nobody would say oh, she's not cute or she doesn't look good. It's just okay, the same problems that I got from this black person in America is going to be the same problems I got from this black person over here. And black people have that level of a lack of patience for each other. So any time something small goes wrong, they automatically just get pissed off. And so what you're going to see is when they go to the Dominican Republic, they're going to be more open because, hey, the Latin culture, they don't know the culture that a lot of women grow up here as far as, being very feminine. A lot of brothers just don't know that. But they do know it about Brazil. They do know it about DR. And there's also more success stories about relationships that happen between African-American men and Dominican women. In the States, I'm going to be honest, Africans, for the most part, do not marry At least in my time, us. So that's something that you really don't see. Cities like New York City and Philadelphia, they tend to be more integrated. Like Africans, Caribbeans, like even hip hop was started largely by Caribbeans and African Americans. You know, KRS-One, I think, Notorious, like Jay-Z is half Caribbean, half Jamaican, half African American. So those relationships exist. But in most cities in America, Africans and African Americans don't go to church together. They may have sex, but the family will tell them, hey, this guy here, you know, you would never really find it with like the women that I think guys would be more crazy about, Eritreans, Rwandese, based on their features. Yeah. Eritreans, Somalians, those women are a no-go for most guys unless you're very, very financially successful. So a lot of black men in America don't even have accessibility because a lot of these families are affluent and, you know, hey, you're an African-American man, you're a truck driver, you know, man, my daughter can't marry you. So if you don't have a relationship with people in America, as far as dating and relationships on average in marriage, it's going to be difficult to do that elsewhere, except for like Ghanaians, Liberians, but Nigerians, it's, you know, most brothers can't marry a Nigerian sister from America. It's very difficult because of what the family thinks. So I think those are the things that end up in that. But once people are seeing it, I do think that it is getting more accepted. It is getting better.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is my honest opinion.
Yeah, I want to hear from Rachel.
Well, I watched it, and from your points, especially what Osho was talking about, I would say it's self-hate and low self-esteem and ignorance.
Ooh.
Yeah, because, you know, people have issues and they want to project it on other people.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I would understand if you don't know about Africa. Maybe you watch it on the internet and all that, because there are so many narratives about black women, this and that. And don't come out and comment under a post or something showing your ignorance, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because first experience something, then have a view about it openly like that, because this is internet where you're putting out your points and you don't know how. I mean, people are affected by these things because this is a day of this. In this day and age, there's easy access to the internet. You've had people who have committed suicide because they were called monkeys or because they were hated for their hair or things like that. So don't base off on people's experiences, because someone had an experience with maybe a black woman and he was scammed or something, and then you're going to base off that to hate the black women. But I would also think it comes from, like, they really, really have that hate, O'Shea, because nothing would, like they said, nothing would make you feel like stealing if you're not already a thief.
Yeah.
No, not unlocked door or money on display. Like, you are already a thief. So nothing would make you genuinely hate on, let's say, I watch a video, or maybe usually these comments are on videos. Like, we watched the clip. So I watch a video of, you know, you've posted a beautiful woman, like let's say Africa Day, you posted all these beautiful women and all that. And then someone just comes and hates, and some of you like some of these people write paragraphs, you know.
Yeah. Especially on this channel.
Make no meanings, but it's just hate, and they know nothing about these people's lives or anything. So you're just a hater, and no excuses, nothing would justify for you to do what you do. So the same logic you apply when, you know, you're coming up with this comment, apply that same logic when you watch, apply that same logic when you're raining praises on these other women who maybe it's fair skin that you want, and maybe this girl is dark. So for me, it's self-hate and ignorance. And then again, societies as well, because some of these people get these things from the internet. Who are they following? Who who, because some of the people they watch are authors of that like narratives of Black women and this and that. So if they see this person, maybe this person is already in Africa and they're talking a certain way about these Black women, they're definitely going to feel like, oh, if this person is saying this, it's definitely that. So the narratives, but also, well, I don't want to say this, but yeah.
Go ahead.
The homes where they grow up from
Okay.
shape them into the type of people they are. I mean, you grew up from a home where they feel, they talk about you marrying fair
Skinned
women, or maybe you went through that emotional trauma of being picked on because you're too dark, or maybe you, I mean, it's so many things that like shape these people into what they are. But you have the choice to change how you think, because we've seen people who have been through the worst, but still they choose to be positive about so many things. Yeah, so you're the choice that you make.
Okay.
Let me just add on to that before we go to the beautiful Tina. Great points. I mean, I grew up in a house that my grandmother was, I think I talked about it. My grandmother doesn't like dark-skinned people. Not a lot. She barely liked me. But so my grandma was telling me, like, I remember I brought a young lady to my house before. She was South Sudanese. She just happened to be going to Sacramento State University. And her friend, who's now passed away, she was like, "Oh, so what do your people do? Like, do are they educated?" I mean, it was just like really bad, like, you know, and it was terrible. So it was almost like, if I were to like really date that girl, from the way that the ignorance that my people had at that time, it would almost been like, why is she here? Like, why not your own folks? But of course, I think those things can be mitigated. But overall, when we're talking about a lot of issues, why Black people and like, let's just say African Americans, Africans, it all stems to part of it. These are the people that I hate to go into this, but these people, no matter where they come from, Africa, but those people are the people that sold us. These are the immigrants that are doing better than us and sort of throwing it in our face. And I don't like my Nigerian or Ghanaian or Ugandan boss. I don't like those people. Like, you see what I'm saying? So all of those clashes that have been going on in America since Africans have got their independence and they've been coming to America, and we've been sort of clashing and we've been sort of separate in the communities, it has created that disdain. So much so when you say, for some people, it's not everybody, when you say like, you mention Africa or African or Africa, it's like, okay, these are the people that come into our community and they don't contribute at all to our cause and they just take. So anything to do with them, the hell with them. And, or vice versa from the other side. So, because I'm pretty sure the women that he posts, because, you know, Africa has a diversity complexion of ladies, they look different. It didn't matter. If it was somebody else's country, they would have been like, oh, shoot, she's fly, but she's from Kenya. Do you understand what I'm saying? But I think the way forward from all of this is a lot of people are still in the middle, even the ones that are haters that make comments about it. I used to be a hater of Africa, not Africa, but I used to be a strong critic. My criticism of Africa now is about how things are done and how it can improve. But man, I used to be the hardest core African-American against like African immigrant videos that was talking shit about our group. Like I used to go real hard. Like we even have some debates offline. Like I've come a long ways now. But again, the way forward is, okay, well, what does Africa have to offer a brother than Brazil or Colombia? And what are the people like? And things like that. I think once you start to see that, those stereotypes can be dissolved. But when you feel like, you know, there could be no relationship there because there's been too much beef and too much drama, the response is going to be, no. I can make up any excuse while I feel like that. Like she said, oh, they're poor, or, also how Africa is being, depicted to the world. So I think all of those things come together, personal experiences, colorism, just a hater, being ignorant, all that culmination to somebody's ideas. But I've seen so many people, to Austin's point, that are like, wow, now I want to come. And we're getting people here all the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, Tina.
Ooh.
Are they anti-black?
No. The thing I wanted to go back to the colorism thing that you were saying.
Yeah.
Because I definitely think Rachel said something about like their own past experiences and trauma and like what they've gone through. So like we had said the self-hate thing, but I think like it is so much deeper than that. It's like, because remember you said that, so if someone is to go like outside of their country for a woman, it's because they believe she's more feminine or like things like that, right? And like there's a way that like dark skin has proper been like attributed to like masculinity.
Yes, definitely.
And like some people really cannot see past that. So it's like the moment you see that, it's like, but it's the same problem that's at home. So like from that point, I get it. I'm not excusing it, but like I get the like implicit bias when you just see somebody like that and then you think that instantly. But then also, I think you just said it's just being a hater, innit? Because like it's one thing to think these things, but it's like also another thing to like sit there and type the paragraphs and do all of that. It's very weird.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question. In the UK, is it so that lighter skinned women are considered more feminine than dark skinned women, just on average? Is that the consensus?
Yeah. Just like, and not even just in dating, but just in life. Like darker skinned women get harsher prison sentences. Darker skinned women are more likely to die during childbirth.
Yeah.
Darker skinned women are more likely to be assaulted by the police. Like it's just life. Yeah.
I think also, I'm going to get counsel for this. There are some black men that feel that it's very difficult. I know I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I got to this is a hypothesis.
It's the way they're scaring us. Like we're not even scared to
because most black men come from the inner city where you don't have two parents in the home. And we see how black women are guiding the daughters. So it is very difficult to say how we see black women. We're looking at, I think, almost every black woman outside of the Latin American world as what we see from America. So we would feel like a black woman, a lot of brothers feel, cannot raise a feminine daughter that will be malleable for a black man in America. It's very difficult for a man to understand that. Like this lady here has an African American mom or a black mom, and she's going to be feminine. Like it probably is very unlikely that's going to happen. She may be beautiful, she may be all of this, but the mother has to be white. Black father, cool. Dominican, mixed. As far as even, I would say, if it's Haitian in the Dominican Republic, anything that is something that is not black raised in the West or raised in Africa, because guys just will make the connection. Because even when I came here the first time, I started making a connection, like, because you got to feel comfortable in your new environment, right? And I was starting thinking to myself, I don't know this person, but he reminds me of somebody down the street that I know. And that person reminds me. That's how you become comfortable in the place. This person looks like that. Oh, yep, they dragging their feet like they do in America. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like you started getting comfortable. So when guys start seeing things, they can basically say, like, I've seen this before, and my experience for that wasn't good. Now, I'm not trying to make it make sense or I agree with it, but that's what I believe is happening. And so a lot of people feel like an all-black woman has no chance of femininity in the same way that a mulatto or white or somebody raised in Latin America has. I'm wasting my time. Like, my money is very well spent there. And I know I'm going to get it because of what guys have already said. There's documentaries, so many guys talking about the success I had in Cuba, DR. And you just don't see a lot of guys talking about, like, okay, I have an African wife and my life is like this. Or do you understand? You don't really see it. Those relationships are pretty much under wraps, but they're not publicized so much. You don't really see a lot of African American men and African women that are married, and they really talk about it a lot. But you do see it, black men, white women, black men.
I think you even see it with white men and black women.
Yeah. Because, we love to show our white people that we got a white husband or a white wife.
It's that same, it's
Safe
sort
help.
of what you're saying. It's like the black women here, even typically. So if you're like an African girl and you're here and an African American man approaches you or a white man, the sad thing is you're going to look at that white man as more of a safe place to go
Unless it's
than
me.
the black.
Because I look good.
than the African American man. So I think it's the same thing you're saying to where like they would look for like, if she's like black adjacent or she has like a black aesthetic without the actual quote unquote like struggles of being black,
There you go.
then it feels like it's familiar, but it's safe.
Yes.
So I think, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. And I also think about the issue of colors. I think when you're in Africa, you see all shades of black, literally. And then the sun also doesn't help us.
But then also Uganda's super colorist though.
Yes. There's also that. Because I feel like
Uganda is very colorist.
yes.
Is that why those girls are doing all that skin lightening?
Yeah, skin lightening and whatnot.
Yeah, because I think
Somewhere,
skin cancer is one of the
a certain
highest
place somewhere.
cancers in Uganda as well.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like they literally do that shit on the road. Like
The
they
bleaching,
mix the
mixing, all
creams and they
that.
sell like homemade bleaching
Yeah.
creams
Yeah.
on road.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's so bad. But yeah, I think Africa has like all shades of black, which is amazing, by the way. I feel like we should be proud of that. But I also feel like some African women experience colorism at such a young age. From your aunties.
In your
from your
home. Yeah, it can
uncles,
even be your parents,
Yeah. There's a thing where a child is born dark skinned and then they're like, oh, let's wait for the child to, like come out of that color. But it's like, no, that's that color.
Are you serious? Come out of their color?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
They'd be like,
Wow.
let's look at the ears.
Yeah.
Let's
It's
see
like,
what
let's wait.
Wow.
They
Yeah.
usually check the ears.
The ears.
Are you
they're like-
serious?
The moment
Yeah.
the kid is born, they're
It's
like,
that
the ears
bad.
are too black.
Let's wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there are times when kids change colors. Like they will be born light skin, in a week they're dark skin, or they're dark skin and in a week they're
Even that
light
whole
skin.
not playing out in the sun thing.
Yeah. It's like don't play out in the sun because the sun is gonna turn you dark and whatnot.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Maintain said the same thing.
Yeah, in the
then you grow
Caribbean,
up
it's
thinking that.
a thing as well.
Yeah, and then we also have girls. I feel like you've had the opportunity to be educated. You should educate yourself. But there are girls who go through education and they don't educate themselves, and they're like, "Oh, I want a white man so that I can have a mixed baby, or I want a light skinned guy so that I can have a mixed baby." It's like, "Oh, I can't date a guy who looks like this because our babies." And it's like, you can't be this dumb.
I actually had a
To
friend who said
think-
that to me. And he was a guy and he was just like, it's only now that he started to feel free to date black women because he felt like before he didn't want his child to go through the same things he did. So he would actively date white women so he wouldn't have like a,
But that's
monoracial
like
black
the dumbest thing. Instead of working hard so that your kids are rich kids, you're working hard so that your kids are light skinned kids. Because even if your kids are rich, and trust me, they'll go through anything. So at least there's that. But it's not like it's the world we live in, and people are still, behind in their ways of thinking and in their ways of doing certain things. But I genuinely, honestly, I
they
feel
need
like
to decolonize.
if you're watching this episode, please let us know in the comment section what you think, because I genuinely cannot understand why you'd hate on an African woman. Trust me, I've listened to the points and brilliant points, but like I can't.
Yeah.
It doesn't sit right with me. Like, what?
It won't make sense because you're not from the culture of the guys who feel like there are things here that it doesn't. Do you know how many things goes on in this Kampala that happen every day that I feel like I don't understand? It doesn't make sense
Yeah.
because I just haven't grown up here. So, but it makes sense to you why it's done that way. I think it's the same case with us. Rachel, you have something you want to say?
Yeah, me, I'm just saying whatever reasons you have. I mean, judge or hate the person based off their character, not ethnicity, background,
Right.
or religious.
I'm not saying there are good reasons
Yeah.
that I agree with, but I can see.
Their reasons.
Yeah. And I just want them to remember, like, just try to defeat your internalized, whatever misogyn, racist, or colorism, whatever it is, comment, or just one thought or word at a time.
Stop hating. But yeah, I feel like this is a brilliant episode, guys. Any last remarks? Or where can the people find you?
Where do you buy your skin lightening cream from?
Stop. Do you know why? Do you know why we have a lot of skin lightening creams in Uganda? It's because of Congo. So the Congolese.
Oh yeah, I be seeing those like little advertisements.
Are we really
like,
just
"Yeah,
gonna
my
blame the
doctor."
Congolese people?
No, we have to.
Have you seen those?
To a certain
Those papers?
to a certain extent, we
The
can
Doctor
blame.
from Congo, I can help you be very beautiful.
Yeah, to a certain extent, we can blame the Congolese because that's where they get the skin lightening creams from. By the way,
No,
That's
before,
why-
before we even no, we can't
They
blame
mix
that.
those
okay, we
things.
blame let's
They
blame
mix those
ourselves.
things
Blame
downtown
ourselves,
like
but we should
properly.
we should
But it's
also
a Congolese
we should
person
also
that-
blame people in customs and whatever. Why are they
Oh.
allowing them?
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
so,
such
and the
things
ones who are
happen.
buying it, because
yeah.
they enable them to keep bringing it here. So it's not a Congo.
And the men who bleach, like what?
So
As a
many.
man,
Wait, no wonder my editor's looking light skinned today. Woo.
As a man, how can you?
as
He
a man,
only-
where are you bleaching, sir?
He looking like Drake today.
The knuckles are dark, and then the rest of the
Not
hand
him
is
looking
light.
at his knuckles.
Yeah.
And then his
Get the elbows,
toes.
brother. Get the elbows, brother.
Yeah, it's just weird. But yeah, guys, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me at Skin Lightning
Stop.
Junkie.
Kinganda. Yes. No. At O'Shea Duke.
At Tinagram.
At Tinagram. Well, Rachel doesn't want to be found, so.
If you pay me, I'll give you their Instagram.
So yeah, guys, and you can find us at Kinganda Nation on all our social media platforms. If you have anything you'd like to share with us, email us at teamkinganda@gmail.com. If you're looking for love, dark skin African queens, head over to the Pan African Dating Show. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.